With Rob Lewis, Brent Hubbs, VolQuest.com. A little fast break, instant react, if you will. Tennessee, a big win over Missouri on the road in SEC play tonight. Rob Lewis, plain and simple, this was a no-doubter from the opening tip for the Volunteers.
Yeah, supposed to be a challenge, turned out to be a beatdown. Just had a chance, right before we're taping this, to talk to the players, to talk to Rick, and not cocky by any means, but felt like that they had, actually even left some things out on the court. To me, I was really impressed, Brent, with how sharp they were early in the game. First road trip, they jump out to a 23-4 lead. They go start 8 of 8 from the floor, and then maybe even more impressed by the maturity and mental toughness they showed coming out of halftime, because you knew Missouri was going to make a run. It was 13 points. It was, they weren't in a great spot, but you get a couple quick buckets, you get it into single digits, and it really changes the feel of the game. Instead, Tennessee pops out a little 7-2 spurt, and Missouri has to take a timeout with 2.5 minutes left, which is, as a head coach, is the last thing you want to do, coming out of the halftime locker room. It's 45. I guess it was 40. Tennessee had an 18 point, 45-27 right there, and it didn't feel like Missouri had a path back.
No, Missouri couldn't find enough offense, didn't shoot it well enough. There's a lot of things to be impressed about. We'll get into a couple of them here. I love Tennessee's shot selection. They shot the ball well from the perimeter, the three ball, but they didn't force anything. Sometimes when you get off to the quick start, shooting a three like Muscovy did, you're trying to find a shot, heat check, all that. Stayed within the confines of what they wanted to do offensively. And then I thought, Yves Pons just continued to show another layer to his game. I don't know that he's going to do that every night, Rob, but he was a real mismatch problem for Missouri, particularly when they isolated him on the wing. That's just something else for opponents to have to worry about and deal with this Tennessee basketball team when you look at all the weapons that they have.
Yeah, and Rick was just over the top about him in his post-game comments. I think he used the word great to describe how he's played tonight. And, defensively, that's there every game, even though he was really good tonight with 4 blocks. And I noticed one time where there were a pick and roll. He's covered the roller coming down the lane and then still almost got out into a passing lane to get when the ball was kicked out back to the wing, which is just he didn't get there, but it was a play that, not many people could make. And offensively, he was 5 of 9 from the field tonight. He had the most shot attempts on the field, which is something you're not going to see from him a lot of nights. But and you mentioned this, he put it on the floor. He got to the basket. He was 3 of 5 at the line tonight, and prior to tonight, he'd only taken 6 foul shots all year.
Yeah, just really impressed with what he did and what he got done. I'm also impressed, this team can there's a couple of things defensively that little lapses that, they let Missouri get to the free throw line, I think, too much. And sometimes, let them have some straight line drives, which I'm sure Rick Barnes is not very pleased about. And that's something that has crept up a little bit in the last couple of games. But this 1-2-2 that they're kind of dabbling in and messing around with defensively, to add elements of the defense other than just being a straight hardcore man-to-man team, I think, again, is something else that opponents are going to have to deal with and worry about, and just continues to show the evolution of this team, because I think that's only going to get better as the season goes along.
Yeah, and I don't know why he has such an aversion to zone. And I'm not saying, he just doesn't, he will publicly and privately say that he doesn't mind playing zone defense, but when push comes to shove and you got to spend 20 minutes in practice working on it, he's not willing to make that sacrifice, in my opinion. And I'm with you. I think if they can throw the little wrinkle the way that they can man people up right now, if they can add a wrinkle, just even if you just play it 5-6 possessions a game, or if you use it like Colorado did against Tennessee, when Tennessee jumped out to a big lead, they threw a zone at them, and it really, threw a monkey wrench into Tennessee's offense. So I think being versatile, I'm not saying you need to have 15 gimmick defenses, that match up zones and the amoeba defense and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I do think it really behooves you to have something in your pocket that you can go to if somebody's carving you up.
Well, their full court press caused an early timeout to prevent a 5-second call early in the game, and then they got a shot clock violation because the 1-2-2 forced Missouri to delay getting into any kind of offense. And and it just helps their defense with that. All right, so everything's not perfect. What's Rick Barnes not happy about
Oh,
with this team
turnovers,
tonight? And
turnovers.
what do you think about this? What do you need this? What do you want to see from this team continue growth wise moving forward?
Um, Man, this is weird. I mean, first off, the turnover, they had 14 turnovers. I can promise you, Rick thinks that's way, way, way too many. And Missouri's good defensively, but they're more of a, you know, pack it in as opposed to extend and really, aggressively try to get in the passing lane. So I think a lot of that was, just sloppy tonight on Tennessee's part. Uh, what I want to see them do better, this is weird to say about. I think they're too unselfish at times. I think. I mean, I think I saw 5 or 6 times tonight where I thought guys passed up shots, and if you watched later in the possession, Tennessee ended up taking a worse shot because of shot clock or whatever. Josiah James is definitely like that. Santiago is definitely like that. Um, I think I don't know that Jaden and Keon are really necessarily. I would put them in that boat, but I think they're not quite as assertive as they could be right now.
Yeah, I think it's a great point, and I thought at one point late in that game, Rick Barnes was really unhappy with Vescovi because he passed up on a little 8 foot or 10 foot jumper and tried to throw something into the paint for a layup or whatever, and he had a wide open look, which was an easy shot, and the guy he was trying to throw it to was posted up for a backside rebound on the offensive glass. So I don't disagree with that point at all. The bottom line though with this basketball team, Rob, is they got a lot of depth. They got a lot of weapons. They're as good, maybe better than you thought they would be at this point. Fans should enjoy this ride with this team because they're going to have a chance to beat a lot of basketball teams in this league, and they're going to be the talk of the country. I think as you move forward, or certainly one of the talks of the country.
Yeah, they made a statement tonight, no question. I mean, I don't think Missouri is the second best basketball team in this league. I don't believe that, but you have to respect their record. You have to respect the wins that they've gotten, which those 2 wins over Oregon and Illinois are probably the best 2 non-conference wins that an SEC team had in the preseason. And Tennessee just dismantled them tonight.
And Tennessee led from start to finish in a game that they were not contested in. We got plenty of coverage of this win throughout the night and tomorrow morning at VolQuest, and then we will have the mailbag podcast midday tomorrow as well. So plenty of basketball discussion, plenty of other things to discuss at VolQuest.com. That's going to do it for this edition of the Fast Break. For Rob Lewis, I'm Brent Hubbs.